Welcome to Loving Life, a guide to a positive mindset. I'm your host, Lisa. I'm a mindset and energy coach, and each week you'll discover mindset shifts, energy practices, and real life tools to help you feel more confident, calm, and in flow, because you deserve to love the life you're creating. I'm so glad you're here with me. Let's get going on today's episode. Welcome back to Loving Life. I hope you had the best Christmas. Whatever you were doing, however you spent it, whether you were on your own, whether you were with family or friends, maybe you were working, but I hope you managed to get what you wanted out of it. I also hope you've managed to have a bit of a rest, as we've been talking about for this last month. Now, as we draw closer to the new year, you are going to see so much content on social media talking about making plans for the new year, making New Year's resolutions. Now, as you may well know, if you've listened to my previous episodes, I don't believe that making New Year's resolutions is the right way to go. You are going to see lots of things about setting goals, making plans, and trying to create a better version of you. And honestly, whilst I absolutely, as you know, I absolutely believe in self-development, I absolutely believe in setting goals, but I just feel that this time of year, it's too heavy at this time of year. We should still be in rest mode. There is plenty of time. There's not much time to rest. So I truly believe that we should be spending this next couple of weeks at least to regenerate our batteries, to reflect. So, at this time, people still feel tired, especially after Christmas, especially after we've just been running around after friends and family, trying to make it special for everybody. We're tired. We're not really feeling fired up yet. You might be. And if you are, then I'm quite envious. No, I'm not, because I know that will come. We know that we want change. Because that's what self-development is all about. It's about it is about creating a better version of yourself and changing the things that you want to change. But there's a time and a place for that. And if you try and do that at the wrong time, you're just going to create chaos and nothing is going to stick. That is why I don't believe that New Year's resolutions work, because people throw things out there and, we can't necessarily put our energy behind it. You will often find that people set health goals, health New Year's resolutions, and by the end of January, they've stopped going to the gym and they're eating McDonald's again. So let's not do that. Let's take our time. Let's ease ourselves into it. So a little reframe that I would like you to consider is an alternative to setting resolutions, because resolutions or rigid goals, they can disconnect us from our intuition. They can often come from a place of fear, like, I must change this now. This is my chance to change it. And when things come from a place of fear, then we don't really have much clarity around it, and we're not able to plan it so as we get success from that. And then also, if we try and set goals before we have fully rested and fully reflected, then we're not planning from a true place of alignment or from a place of truth. We are planning from survival. Does that make sense? So the alternative that I want to suggest to you is choosing one word or one phrase that will become the theme for you. And you can then jump into this theme whenever you want, in whatever degree you want. So this one word, this one phrase, it's just a reminder. It can help us make decisions. So like at the beginning of the year, when your energy is still going to be quite low because we are still hibernating, we are still getting over the energy of Christmas, the exhaustion of Christmas. So you can kind of choose what energy you put behind it. Does that make sense? We can meet our energy where it needs to be. So some examples of what I mean by one word, it's about how you want to feel. So your theme could be ease. It could be brave. It could be nourish. It could be devotion. It could be accomplishment. Those, you can use a really powerful word or phrase. That doesn't mean that you need to put the energy behind it just yet. It just means that we remember this word or theme when we are making decisions and when we are making plans. Maybe you want your theme or your word to be like grounded or flow, go with the flow. Maybe it's to be more open-minded. So one way to think about this would be like if your year had a feeling, not a to-do list, if it had a feeling, what would it be? So to help you come up with this word or this theme, I just want to take you through a mini meditation. So if you are able to, then I'd like you to get comfortable and close your eyes. If you are driving, you can still do this with your eyes open, obviously, but make sure you're concentrating on the road, or come back to this at a later time. I just want you to take a moment to just really settle into your body, soften your shoulders, just concentrate on your breathing to ground yourself. So gently inhale through your nose and slowly through your mouth. And I want you to imagine that you are standing in a calm, open place. So whether that is on a beach, whether that is in a forest, whether that is on a cliff top, maybe even on a rooftop, whatever speaks to you, where are you? So it might be familiar, it might be completely imagined, but there is a sense of ease. Notice this sense of ease. There's no rush, there's no pressure. And ahead of you, you notice somebody approaching you. As they get closer, you realise it's you, 1 year from now. Not a perfect version, not a fixed version, just you living, breathing, moving through life with a little more ease. Notice how she carries herself. Notice her posture, her expression, the energy she brings into the space, whatever space you're in. Just notice what feels different about her. Maybe she feels steadier. Maybe she seems lighter. Maybe she seems more rooted, grounded. Maybe she seems more spacious inside. You don't need to analyse it, just observe. And without forcing anything, I just want you to allow a word to begin forming, or a phrase. A word or phrase that captures the essence of her energy. Not what she's achieved, but how she is, how she feels. Let it arrive in its own time. It might land clearly or softly, or it might simply feel like a sense rather than a word, and that's perfect. Let that word or phrase gently settle into your body. Notice how it feels to hold it. This isn't something to chase, it's something to return to when we need to make decisions or plans. So when you're ready, take one slow breath in and a long, soft breath out. Carry this word with you and let it guide your choices, guide your pace and your energy. There's no rush to plan, no need to map everything out. For now, this is enough. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to me. So just to say, I'm not saying that planning is bad. Planning isn't the enemy here, but misaligned planning is. Misaligned planning is a big mistake because if your energy isn't where it needs to be to put behind what your intention is, then you're going to feel like you failed. Once you have your word, everything changes. So planning becomes supportive, not stressful. And you stop asking, what should I do? And start asking, what supports this energy? So hopefully that's given you something to aim for when you are making plans. You don't need to make plans yet. You don't need a perfectly mapped out vision of how you want your year to be. Just a theme, and let that theme shape your choices, your decisions, your energy, and the rhythm of your year. And then when the time's right, when spring is almost upon us, we use that spring energy to then map out the rest of our year. That's exactly what I do in my Flow and Flourish workshop, which you are welcome to join. I do it every year. It's included in my membership, but anybody can join it. But it's a gentle way of planning that allows the natural seasons. We work with the energy of the seasons rather than fighting them. So this workshop is a space where we can look at your year through the energy, not pressure. And, I talk a lot about planting seeds and giving them space to grow. So this is a good time to plant seeds. And then when it's time for them to start growing, that's when you can start putting energy behind them. So then inside Flow and Flourish, we would take this word or a theme that you've just created or just connected with and explore how it can guide your year in a grounded and supportive way. It just takes out the hustle that can feel that can feel so much pressure. I believe that things should flow easily, and we shouldn't have to force anything. So hustle isn't an energy that I can really get behind, not for a prolonged period of time anyway. Hustle makes me burn out. If you feel similar, then I really encourage you to join me. We will be doing this on the 15th of February. That seems like a good time to do it. It gives you January to really rest and, sit in that energy. I don't know about you, but January just feels like the kind of energy that if you try to hustle in January, it just feels wrong. Whereas if you really embrace January and embrace the low energy, then you take that pressure off yourself. So halfway through February, before we really hit spring, is a perfect time to do it. So for now, just let that word sit with you. Let it breathe and let it gently guide you, because you are exactly where you need to be right now. So as we end this episode today, I just want to remind you that you don't need to have your whole year figured out, despite what you see on social media over the next week. You just need a little direction that feels right. So yeah, like I said, just sit with that word for the next few days. Before we go today, I just want to check in with the place that had the highest amount of downloads last week, which was Manchester. So thank you to you guys up north of me. And I have got a massive favour to ask you. If you have ever got anything from my podcast, and I'm guessing you do if you keep coming back, but I would love to ask for your support on sharing this podcast. If you've ever heard anything that has changed your view or made anything feel easier for you. Likewise, if you've enjoyed this episode or can think of somebody who would benefit from it, then please do share it. That helps the podcast grow. It's basically the only way that my podcast is ever going to grow. So if you want to support me, that's the best way to do it. Thank you so much. Okay, have an amazing new year, guys. Don't set resolutions. Just focus on your word or your theme and let your energy guide you. I will speak to you next year in 2026. Sending you so much love. Bye. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love it if you could take a moment to subscribe, rate, and if you're listening on Apple, as 95% of you do, review. It really helps the podcast reach more people who are ready to shift their mindset and raise their vibration. And if you know someone who would benefit from today's episode, feel free to share it with them. Until next time, keep loving life and know that I'm sending you so much love.